in Ukraine during the war to update them with news, with trends, with developments in the horticulture, in fruits, vegetables, and in berry production. We like to give you some information what is happening in the Netherlands in the horticulture, and also what is happening in Ukraine in the horticulture. Recently, also a municipality has joined our initiative. That is the gemeente Westland, Municipality Westland. That is a municipality where a lot of glasshouse production is. And also they are looking always for new opportunities, initiatives, and really like also to support Ukraine during these harsh times. So we are very happy with that. And also the Ministry of the Netherlands is supporting our initiative. Also, and that's why we can organize things and trainings on the field. Next week there will be some training about pruning on blueberries, but also on fruits, apples and pears and cherries. So that is what we can do. Our webinar started about the present situation in Ukraine, what happened and what are the threats and despite of the war, but also in the market. We talked about soil because that is quite an issue. At the moment there is a climate conference in Dubai, and also there they stress the importance of soil and how that can affect the climate. And that's very interesting. That gives a lot of opportunities also for Ukraine, since Ukraine is also one of the exporters of food, of grains, of a lot of products. Also in animal industry, they can play a much more significant role in the future. But today we are going to talk about strawberries. And also strawberries is a crop of a more and more important role what it is playing in a lot of countries. It needs for the Dutch situation, for example, less heat than, for example, tomatoes or bell pepper production. So that's why we see a lot of strawberry production is taking more and more place in a covered system, in tunnels, but also certainly in the glasshouse. Today we are going to listen to 3 speakers, and that is Anton Dovnayuk. He is representing Fresh Forward in Ukraine. And Anton also was guiding at the demo field of Rosetta Agro near Kiev, where the demonstration of different varieties took place last year. Then Piet Beurskert of Rapo will tell about some new varieties of Fresh Forward. Of course, we always try to get new varieties which are adjusted to the different climate situations in different countries. And that's why it's very important that the experiments are taking place also in Ukraine to see what are the right varieties in the circumstances. And then Olena Boltovska will proceed with a very interesting topic. She is representing Koppert in Ukraine, and she will talk about natural predators, nematodes, that's her specialization, and biological crop protection. Last field conference we organized in Ukraine, then Olena was also talking about the nematodes, and then she had far too less time to tell what she really wanted to tell. So that's why it's very interesting that she gets the floor now and she can tell very interesting topics about nematodes in the soil. This webinar will be recorded, so you can find it later on back on our website of Stiyka Ukraina. If you have questions, because that is nice that you are alive here, please raise the hands if you see the hands on the screen, because then you can get the words after every presentation. And but you can also write in the chat your question, then we will also try to answer that after the presentation. Then I like to give Anton Dovnayuk the floor. Hello, Anton.
Hello. So I switch to my presentation. I go to sorry. Okay. Сезон 23-24, аналіз ринку суниці і перспективи нового сезону. Спочатку, значить, я представляю фірму Fresh Forward. Це у нас селекційна компанія, яка виводить нові сорта суниці, яблук. Ви чули про сорта Румба, Сантем. Зараз є і багато нових сортів.
Many others of this breeding cyst program. Pete will also tell about the varieties a bit deeper. But what about this season? This is the second season of the strawberry during the war, and you have to consider it. We can see that people a bit learn how to live during the war. And first of all, I have to say about some statistical data. And it's, I can say in general that statistics is not very good because the production have reduced. So this is according to the official Ukrainian statistics. Last year we had 7.1 thousand hectares, but before the war we had 8,600, and then a little bit less. So we can see that the area significantly reduced by 17%. So naturally the total harvest of the strawberry also reduced. If we have harvested about 60,000 tons before the war, then the last 2022 there was 54, and this year we will do not have statistics yet, but it will be less than 50,000 tons harvested of strawberry. So average yield is 7.5 tons per hectare. But this statistics is not complete. It's not. It's only official statistics which comes from the government. I think real statistics is higher, about 15%, but still it is not much.
Таки побачити, що йде до зменшення, а не тільки по звітах суперстату. І якщо, да, отже, щоб ми бачили...
So that you could see about the yields. These are the average yields for varieties which we are working with. You can see that per variety, Honeyoo, Vibrance, and Gazingada, Florence, and Rumba. You can see the varieties in 22 and 23. You can see the early varieties, they perform better. And the late varieties like Zenga Zingana and Florence, they do not perform so well. That has... So there were some advantages and disadvantages of this season. The advantages are that there was enough moisture after the winter. The winter was good, so the start of the season was favorable. Rumba showed very good result. And there was healthy competition between fresh market and the processing market. And that's good for the farmer because he could get a good price for both, for processing and for the fresh and from the fresh market quality berries. The positive part also that the grants started working. Not everybody qualifies to have it, but we expect that there will be growth next year because there are money available from the government for the sector. The challenges which we have, that after the spring, which was nice with the rains, the frost came and there was the first flower damage by spring frosts, which brought to about up to 20% of losses. Then a lot of precipitation, a lot of rains also caused some fungal diseases, which also took off some yield. For those who were exporting berries, there was logistic problems in June, started from June, and then continues till now. And also in Ukraine, there was no local certified plants available. So there was the farmers who could only choose from the abroad certified plants or had to buy local non-certified plants. It's getting more and more difficult to earn money in Ukraine due to the war and also the reduction of production. So we expect that there will be less strawberry coming season because of that on the market. In Ukraine, the strawberry is mainly produced outdoor, so it's open ground production. That's why the varieties which are demanded here, the open varieties which can be easily picked, which are good yield and which are resistant to fungal and other diseases. And what we see that the governmental support program is stimulating planting new varieties. Our varieties, we have about 5 new varieties on the market. These are varieties from very early to the very late. These are twist variety, Verdi, Allegro, Ravelia, and Cadenza. I have made some selection for you of the qualities of the plants. The varieties here are listed by the ripening, not from the best to the worst, but by the ripening time. Every variety has positive and negative characteristics of it. But basically, we give the opportunity to choose the whole range of the harvesting time for the strawberry. So if you want very early, you should choose twist variety. This gives very good quality. Allegro gives high yield, very easy to grow. Ravelia can be good for processing. It's darker color. And Cadenza like Malvina can be a good replacement for Malvina because it's more yielding, high. Speaking of sustainability of the agricultural production, this is about the future, especially for our farms in Ukraine. We should get used to it. So sustainable production is about the preserving the quality of the soil. It's about food safety. It's about moving to biological protection, and it is about social responsibility. What will Ukrainian farmer gain from the sustainable production? If they will be certified, especially by social certificate like SAI, like SEDEX, and like others on this, which you see on the screen. When you get the certificate of these platforms, which you see on the screen, you will be more attractive for the investors from abroad, because sustainability is a big trend abroad. In European Union especially. So this will be your advantage to get the subsidies from the government. And then you can also earn by selling the carbon credits. About perspectives. Ukraine remains a reliable supplier of high quality and good quality fruits on the international market, especially organic market. Even though that we have a war here, the export is increased. And regardless of the problems on the border and some ban and some blockage of the border, the export of Ukraine is growing in a berry market. Strawberry-wise, the situation is stable about the labor and about the land. So it was sufficient for the past season, and we expect it to be sufficient for the coming season. And there is a growing interest from international companies about growing in Ukraine, and the leading European processing company are growing the strawberry and also hazelnut in some regions of Ukraine already. And I think this interest will grow. And we think that Ukraine in the future might become the center of the horticulture for production of the fruit trees with international certified for the regions where the planting material will be produced. This research will develop. This is the picture of a demo field in Kiev region, the Rosetta demo. We are growing 4 varieties, which I also mentioned before. Twist Verdi, these are the early ones, and the Revelia Cadenza is the very late. This year, we did not really harvest much yield because it was only planted, but coming season, next season, we will invite all of you who are interested so you can see it yourself in Ukraine. Our colleagues also grow these varieties in Ukraine. This is the Legrand Verdi. This is the very high quality fruit. So we see a lot of perspective for these varieties in Ukraine.
Thank you very much, Anton. Was this your presentation so far?
Це виключити, да? Угу.
Because then, thank you very much, Anton, for the introduction of the strawberry production and also the statistics in Ukraine. Yes, and then the nice demo, what you saw, that was planted by with plants from Rapo. And I like to give the word to Piet Beurskes, who will explain better about these new varieties which can be seen over there.
Thank you.
Piet,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you very much, Frederik. Thank you very much, Anton, for the introduction and also for the opportunity to do a small presentation about the new strawberry varieties. And a little bit, I will tell you also about the Rapo company. Is this presentation all clear for you? Good.
Yes, we can see it, yeah.
Perfect, thank you. Let me first introduce the let me first introduce the Rapo company a little bit and a little bit about myself. My name is Piet Beurskes and I'm responsible for the sales activities of the nursery of Rapo. Rapo is a family business and it is specialized in growing strawberry and asparagus plants. So we have a big farm of about 500 hectares in the southwestern part of the Netherlands, and there we grow strawberry and our asparagus plants. It's all black sandy soil, and that is necessary that we can easily harvest our plants also during wet conditions. So that is the farming business, producing plants in outdoor. And then we have a location where we do the sorting and the grading of the strawberry and asparagus plants. And that sorting, that grading station is about is suited for about 170 people who do the grading and the sorting of the strawberry and asparagus plants. We sell our plants all over Europe, and that is from the UK, from the United Kingdom till Ukraine, and from Scandinavia till Spain. So we are quite, we have a quite big business abroad. So it's not only the Netherlands, but also complete Europe. And we work with a lot of agents and a lot of distributors who can help us with selling, but also for us it's very important to give a good technical advice to our clients. As Anton already told a little bit about the Fresh Forward company, quite a big strawberry breeding company in the Netherlands, specialized on strawberries. The Rapo company is participating in another company together with 4 other nurseries in a company that is participating in the ownership of Fresh Forward. And that is important for Rapo, for us, because we are very close to the new varieties and we can test very early stage the varieties, the strawberry varieties with our customers. Some varieties of Fresh Forward are Sonata, Allegro, Alzanta, Roomba, and a lot more varieties. And I will tell you a little bit more in detail about the new varieties. Let's see. Yes. What do we do? What do we want? What do we deliver to our customers that are strong and healthy plants, and that will give the professional grower a good head start, a good start for a profitable harvest? We do that for strawberries, we do that for asparagus, and for strawberries we deliver fresh plants in August and October. We deliver waiting bed plants. That's a big caliber, big category of plants, and of course the very popular the frigo plants in the A++ grading, A+, A, and B grading. The frigo plant, it is still a very popular plant and very frequently used in Germany, but also in Poland and also in the Ukraine. I think it's the most common plant type. For asparagus, we deliver the 1-year-old plants in the A and in the B category. All our plants are certificated by the NAC Tuinbouw, an official institute in the Netherlands who controls us, who controls every nursery about the quality of the plants. And Rapo is a member of NAC Tuinbouw, and we are also controlled by those independent organizations. Okay, enough about Rapo, enough about our company. I will tell you a little bit more about the trends in the European market of strawberries. Very actual at this moment in the south, let's say in the northwestern part of Europe, is the labor costs. Labor costs are increasing very strongly, and that is due to the high inflation the last couple of years. Because the inflation, some governments are increasing the minimum wages very rapidly, and that is influencing the profit of the grower. And therefore, a lot of growers in the northwest of Europe are trying to improve the picking speed, and they use new, or not new, but they go out of the soil, they use techniques to improve those picking speeds, like for example tabletops, as you see at the picture at the left side. And they try to improve the picking speed from normally 12 to 15 kilos per hour. They want to improve it by tabletops to 25, 30 kilo, or even maybe 35 kilos per hour. Another topic which is very important at the moment is the increasing cost for land, and also the availability of land is quite an issue. There is a lot of land needed for roads, but also for energy production, like photovoltaic, and also a lot of land is needed for buildings, just for houses. So there is a lot of pressure on agricultural land, and also that is an extra stimulus for growers to go to tabletops or tunnels or glass houses to have a higher yield per square meter. And also new varieties has to be more tolerant against soil-borne diseases, because growers are very often forced to grow strawberries at the same piece of soil. We call that old soil. Old soil is how we call strawberry land where there was strawberries in the past. So we need strong, robust varieties who can stand old soil cultivation. Let's talk about varieties. Anton already told a little bit about some new varieties, and I will go a little bit into the deep for those varieties. Especially, I will focus on the new varieties. This is the same table Anton showed, and first rule in variety choice, and I think it's very important for every grower, because every variety has a lot of advantages and also some disadvantages. And we often speak a lot about the advantages, but do not forget that every variety has also its weaknesses. So I recommend always, for new growers or for growers with new varieties, be careful, do always a test in your own field, in your own with your own techniques. So do a test first, and so to get more confident with the variety and to learn the variety a little better. I will go more in detail about the varieties. Twist, a very early one, Verdi, a mid-early one, Yenka, that is a variety also mid-early till late, then Ravellia, and as last I will talk a little bit about Cadenza. All new varieties suited for the climate of the Ukraine, suited for the climate of Poland, so they can stand the severe winters, and they are all suited for outdoor production, so in open soil. Let's start with the variety Twist. Twist is a very early variety. It can be compared with it has more or less the same earliness as Clery, so it's quite early. It is a variety which you can start the season. Twist is a variety with a good taste, a nice taste, a little bit acid, not very sweet, a little bit acid, but it is an acceptable, good taste, and the fruit is strong and it is storable. So you can go with Twist to retail channels or longer supply chains. It has a good shelf life. Twist has a good harvest performance, and if we compare with Clery, we see that Clery always starts with big fruits, and then the fruits getting smaller quite quickly. With Twist, the fruit size remains on a good level in comparison with Clery. So also a little bit later in the season, with Twist, you have an acceptable till good fruit size. It has a very nice appearance, and it looks very shiny, very glossy. So if you have it in the box, it is a very nice picture. Be alert, some alerts. What do you have to take in account with Twist? That the plant is, that you plant deep enough. The new roots from Twist are very high. The rhizome, the heart of the plant, is not going very quickly deep into the soil. So take care of a good planting depth. And Twist is a little bit vulnerable for verticillium. So if you have soils with the verticillium or soils where there was a lot of potatoes in the past, be careful with Twist. Make a small test first. Twist is a runner-up variety in Germany. People like the variety. It is a new variety, but it looks very promising for the early segment. I show you some pictures of the fruit. The fruit is nice, red, looks okay, a little bit, not very dark red inside, but looks okay, very shiny, very glossy, nice appearance. Okay, this is Twist, very early compared with Clearly, a little bit later than the variety Flair, but it is in the same segment. I go to the second variety, I go to Verdi. Verdi is a mid-early variety, and it's for me, I think it's maybe the most promising variety for Ukrainian market, because it is a very good alternative for Asia, Magnum, Sonata, Sensation. So it's in summer season, and it is perfectly suited for direct sales or for shorter retail channels. The taste is very good, a little bit aromatic, so that's a deeper taste, more intenser taste as, for example, Twist. But people like it, and it is a very nice and good taste. A very strong point from Verdi is that it is an easy to grow variety. It is a very strong, robust variety. Also, under difficult circumstances, Verdi can give a good performance. And also on soils where there were strawberries in the past, Verdi will do well because it is quite resistant against soil-borne diseases. It is quite resistant to, for example, black root disease. You have to take care a little bit with Verdi that you use not too much nitrogen, because Verdi can grow very big otherwise. So low nitrogen, and that is a thing that you have to take care of, because otherwise you have too much leaves. The fruit is very nice, a very shiny fruit with a big and quite big. So fruits are quite big, and the taste is very good. Some pictures of the Verdi. This is a field in the east of Germany. Very strong plant, very robust. Let me show you another picture, and it is very easy to pick. That is also a big advantage of Verdi. Let's go to another type of variety, because this is something special. The variety is called Yenka. Yenka is a taste variety. It has an excellent, good taste, and it is mid-early season, a little bit later as Verdi. Yenka is high yielding, and very dark red fruit. We think it could be interesting for processing industry. Could be very interesting for that. The yield is very high, and as I told already, the taste is excellent. Very good taste, dark red fruit. More yield than Verdi, more yield as Sensation. The plant of Yenka is quite big, so that means you have to take care of of a planting distance, give it a little bit more space. Because it is a very big plant, maybe as a figo plant, you should Yenka plant not too early, because otherwise it can grow very, very big. If you want to grow it for a second year, if you want to have a harvest for 2 years, we recommend not to mow the plant, because otherwise you have a lot of new buds, and that can reduce the size of the fruit in the next year. Yenka is the fruit of Yenka is not easy to store, so we recommend to harvest Yenka and to sell it directly. It is not for longer supply chains. It is because the fruit is quite vulnerable. Some pictures of Yenka. Very nice, nice dark red fruit. You see that the trusses are very close to the plant, and together with the big, because Yenka is a big plant, the picking speed is probably a little bit lower, but you have a lot of fruits with an excellent taste. Let's go to the later varieties. Let's go to talk about Ravalia. Ravalia is very new. It was introduced a couple of months ago, so this is very, very new. Ravalia is a late variety. You can compare it with Fate or Florence. It is a strong fruit. The fruit is quite firm, and that means it is also good during rainy days. The fruit is quite resistant, a firm fruit. The taste is excellent. Also, like Yenka, Ravalia has a very good taste, and certainly compared with Fate, the taste of Ravalia is much better. It has a very nice appearance, and it is dark red, and that makes this variety maybe also very suitable for process industry. It is a strong variety, also good for older soils. So if there was strawberries in the past, Ravalia could be a very good option. The yield is not very high. I would say it's an average yield, not very high, but the fruit has a nice appearance. Some pictures of the fruit. You see quite dark red fruit, and with a good fruit size. And compared with Fate, I told already, a much better taste. Then we go to Cadenza. That is the last variety I want to talk about, because I'm almost ready with my time, no problem. Cadenza is the very late variety. It is a little bit like Malvina, so maybe 5-6 days earlier as Malvina. It is a good, strong fruit. You can store it, and you can also use it in the longer supply chain channels. The taste is okay. It is not like Ravalia. Ravalia has a better taste, but it is an acceptable taste. The fruit is nice red, not very dark, but it's a nice, good color, not as dark as Ravalia. But the fruit is very strong, and also during rainy days, the fruit stays good quality. The yield is very high, and the fruits are quite big. And Malvina, we know Malvina, sometimes smaller fruit. We know Fate, sometimes smaller fruit. cadenza has big fruit. It is a very promising late variety with high yields and big strong fruits, and we have high expectations of the future of cadenza. There is one alert on old soils, so in soils where there was strawberries in the past, cadenza might not be the best choice. Maybe it's better to grow in that on those fields Ravalia. Good. This was a little bit about the new varieties. There are a lot of varieties where I can talk about, but these are very hot, promising new varieties. And for the Ukrainian market, it is important that we do a lot of tests, and we work together with Anton, of course, to test varieties, to look at the color, look at the taste, but also look at the agronomic technical growing methods, and that's what we do quite a lot. Therefore, we have some testing fields, and we are happy as the Rabo company to provide, together with Anton, with his help, to provide plants and new varieties to test them under Ukrainian circumstances, because with new varieties we can improve yield, can improve quality, and we can together work on a bright future for the strawberry industry in Ukraine. Good, thank you for your attention, and if there are questions, just let me know.
Thank you very much, Piet. Very interesting to hear these different characteristics of the different varieties. I am fresh looking forward to have also Jenka on our demo plots, and these varieties, are they in registration in Ukraine already? Maybe Anton can say something about this.
Чути мене, да? Значить, по сортам.
About the varieties.
Mm-hmm.
Twist is registered, Verde is registered.
Yeah.
Late varieties not yet, because they're just out to the market. We will be registering them, of course. And now the procedure seems to be faster and easier. I think it will take half a year to register a variety. Allegro is registered, Verde is registered, Twist registered. Sounds like this.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Yes, both Piet and Anton, thank you very much for your presentation. If people have questions, they can always contact you directly or to Valerie. And we hope to see the varieties and especially the strawberries coming year, to see them in real. Okay. Then I like to go to the next speaker, and that is Olena Boltowska. And I'm really looking forward to hear your presentation, because we had to cut you down when you were on our conference at the field because of lack of time. But you have a lot of interesting things to tell about the organic, the biological control, and also about the nematodes in the soil. So please, the floor is yours.
Добрий день.
Hello, everyone. Actually, good evening. Thank you, Frederick. Thank you, Valerie. I agree with you, and thank you for remembering me. We have a lot of information because we're working in many directions. There was not enough time on the field day, and I don't think there will be enough time now to expose or to share with everything what I want to share with you. And this parasitic nematode, maybe parasitic nematodes, we will leave for the next time. I will mention something about it. But parasitic nematodes is really broad theme which really need a lot of time to explain about. 1 second, I will start my presentation.
Я маю надію, що презентація вийшла. Все добре видно, так? Я вже говорила, що
As I
ми
said,
маємо
we have
великий, багато цікавих
a lot of interesting products and a lot of knowledge behind it, which we are open to share with.
Ми сьогодні пропонуємо вам
And today we offer you
агентів біологічного захисту.
the agents of biological protection. There are many of them, so I want to share just with some of them.
Отже, агенти біологічного
So my topic is agent of biological crop protection for berry crops.
вирощуванні ягідних культур в комерційних умовах.
And I'm talking today about growing berries in commercial scale.
Назву нашого, я маю надію, часткової доповіді. Отже, трошки про нас.
So shortly about us. My company represents, I represent company Rossana. We are working over 25 years in Ukraine. And at this moment, since 2009, we represent Koppert in Ukraine, as well as other Dutch companies, P. Aker or Aker, which is a bit different direction on the market. So we are over 25 years on the market of Ukraine. We work a lot with the greenhouse production, but we also work with the open ground production companies. So Rossana Biology Solution offers individual approach to companies in the crop protection area. So we are working in the biological protection and feeding of the plants. We give the advisory, helping to fight with the soil-borne pests, pollination of agricultural crops. Then also, because I'm a specialist in phytoparasitic nematodes, we are doing ourselves tests and advisory for identifying nematodes, the parasitic nematodes in the soil. And we also sell some side products connected with the horticultural production. So I want to represent Koppert today. We work with the Koppert since 2009. And then when I was preparing my presentation, I remember that quite a while ago, I was telling about heroic, the historical path of the company which was created in Holland. Because the Koppert has created the whole new direction of biological agents application in commercial scale. I mean in commercial scale of production of horticultural crops. So the company Koppert was created in 1967 by Jan Koppert. He was a farmer and researcher. At that moment, he was growing vegetables, and I can say that he faced the circumstances of some extraordinary force. Because cucumbers you cannot grow without pesticides on one side, but on another side, the body did not want to work in such a conditions with so much chemicals in the product. So Now it's a third or maybe fourth generation of this family, and is leading the company. There are, I think, thousands of people all over the world who are working with copper. The company is producing, commercially produce the biological agents for crop protection and pollinators. And this is the world leader, I have to say. The share of the copper on the market, I mean in the world market, is over 60%. And this is very high share. Copper is not only producing beetles or other insects, they also doing a lot of research. They are improving a lot their products every time because there are a lot of researchers in the company. They have a big research team who is searching for new solutions, new objects, new agents which might be more efficient or more suitable for the modern production systems of the agricultural crops. A part of the commercial production and scientific research, corporate is also doing the extension. So they give advice with their products. They advise farmers on how to use their products in crop production. Also, specialists of copper are taking very good care about packaging, about logistic issues. So they're not just producing the insect, for example, but they taking care that this insect would be convenient to use on your plantation, where the farmer produces the horticultural products. They're taking very good care of these insects, of their insects, so that insects are not only feeling well, but they're also efficient working in the field. So on the slide, you see only a small portion of the products of copper, which is available from this company. The packaging might have changed over the time because this is not a fresh picture, but in general, the portfolio of the company and the approach of the corporate company with their products is really deserves a lot of respect. And since 2009, since I work with this company and its product showing very high efficiency. And I think that we still have a lot of explore in Ukraine of their production. So coming back to 1967, the problem of young copper was the spider mite. And to find a solution for the spider mite, it's quite an aggressive pest which can damage a lot, and it can damage basically any crop. And every year, the harmfulness of this spider mite is increasing. Saying in 1990s, they were thinking that population of spider mite is slowing down when the humidity is like around 70%. But now you can see that it is raining and spider mite are still active. Also, we can see that the temperature worldwide is growing. The scale of the production is growing. Sometimes the crop rotation is not perfect. Sometimes there is a misuse of chemicals, or some mistakes could be done in in the use of chemical or synthetic formulations, and that causes the spider mite
посилює свою шкодочинність.
to become more and more harmful.
Посилює свою шкодочинність. А також зменшується цикл розвитку.
And we can also see that the cycle of development of the spider mite is reducing. It's multiplying quicker and faster.
Збільшення популяції кліщ може призвести до дуже
And that's why the spider mite nowadays can cause to the disasters on the field. And also it applies to the berry crops. What do we offer? Which agents from our list can be used for effective control of this very dangerous pest? First of all, is Phytocellus persimilis. There are many different names. They called Filca in the greenhouses. This agent, it's very aggressive against the spider mite. It is a predator. It is very hungry predator. In one day, the female can eat up to 50 spider mites. And this Phytocellus eats almost all stages of the spider mite. And the specifics of this predator's mite is that it works with the high population of the spider mite. So if we have inflammation, if we have a lot of spider mite, then we should use this Phytocellus persimilis, and this predator mite is killing very effectively or reducing the population of the spider mite. As I was saying, the company cares a lot about the packaging of their products. That's why Koppert offers special bottles with a clean population of Phytocellus persimilis. There is a 2,000 and 10,000 specimens per bottle. You can take a bottle and through the special holes and dosing thing in it, you can apply it directly to the lesions or to the focus of the infection or of the spider mite, and then you localize it in the right spot where there is a feed for them, and they immediately start controlling the spider mites, killing the spider mites. Of course, the Phytocellus can be influenced by climate conditions, but we have to know that the leaf surface has own microclimate, which allows to this Phytocellus to operate, to work if there is enough feed for it, if there is enough spider mite. But still, there are situations, you know, when you have the lesions, when you really have a fire on your field, when you have a lot of spider mite, then it's a situation when you miss something. Maybe your advisor was not working well, or maybe you miss something in your crop production technology. But there are situations where it's not when there is no lesions of the spider mites. So there are some precautions, and as a precaution, the Neosellus californicus can be used. It's also a predator mite, but it can feed not only by these spider mites, but it can also eat pollen. It can also eat the secretion of the plants without damaging the plant itself. So these predator mites can be hanged in the plantation with the different ways. It depends on your crop. It depends on your purpose. There are different packages of this predator spider. So there are sacks, small sacks with the small amounts of this Neosellus in different stages and some feed for it, which can be hanging on the plant. You can see it on the left picture.
тільки після висадки і підв'язки рослини або адаптації рослини, і кліщі через отвори виходять.
So this small sac has small holes in it, and then the mites coming through it and start developing in your plantation. And as soon as there is a spider mite developing or coming to your plantation, the Neocellus is already present there, and it starts immediately killing these spider mites. So this prevents the lesions or focused, concentrated development of the spider mites on your plantation. Here is a slide where you can see the difference between these predator mites. They are very small animals, but visually they can be easily distinguished. Even without a microscope, you can actually see them, even though they are very small. But our clients always have a magnifying glasses where you can see it much better. So Neocellus californicus is smaller in size. It's transparent. It's kind of a milky transparent. And Phytocellus is red, more roundish mite with the longer legs and moves very quickly. These two mites are very well controlling the spider mites in your plantation. Next pest which I want to talk about, and which one we can control quite efficiently, is thrips. Thrips, what is the problem with the thrips we have? That some stages of the development of this insect, they have hidden life. So, for example, the egg is staying in parenchyma, and the larvae on the early stages, they stay in the soil, so you don't see them. Also, adult imagos, they are also hiding. You don't see them well. And the synthetic crop protection formulations, they're not very effective in fighting thrips in your plantation. But the problem from thrips can be very big on your plantation, both for open ground and for greenhouses, on berries and on actually on any crop. The best control of the thrips can be done by the Polyphagus true bug or aureus, because this insect is moving quite freely as any Polyphagus insect. There has to be some effort put in to increasing the population of this agent, because these true bugs, they eat as a polyphagus. They eat anything around. They eat not only thrips, but they eat also other pests which can be around, available for feeding. A part of the true bugs or aureus, we can also use this small and nice looking also mites. It's Neocellus gender, Neocellus swirsky. This small mite is a bit different from Neocellus californicus by its color. The body is a different color, and also it likes to feed with something different. It likes to eat eggs and the larvae of the thrips. The Neocellus swirsky itself can be also being delivered in different packaging, and the specialists of Koppert, they're very keen on looking to it, so that the agent, I mean this predator mite, would get on the plant, and that would do the job what it is designed for. So there are also these small sachets, and there are different types of sachets which can be hang on the plant. And before the trips are there revealed, and then when this mite develops and eats the eggs or larvae of the trips which might be showing around in the greenhouse or in the spring in the open ground, not allowing the population to grow to the really harmful amount. Also, for the quick reaction, when you need a lot of this agent on the field, then it's available in the bottles. And then with the bottle, we can spread it more efficiently and in a higher concentration. Another type of pest which I want to talk about, and which can also be controlled by biological protection, is the whitefly. At this moment, I'm talking about two types of whitefly which are the most popular, which cause a lot of damage. They have very short cycle of life cycle, so they reproduce very quickly. Even in a few hours, it can go from the egg to the egg, so the population can grow very quickly. And in some conditions, the pesticide is not an efficient solution in fighting this butterfly. So against different types of butterfly, we can use the agents efficiently. Even though on the berries, maybe whitefly is not so harmful, but if there is one, it's better to fight it immediately, because if you let it happening for too long, then it might be very difficult to stop it afterwards. So first of all, fighting the whitefly, we're using the parasitoids. These are insects which are living. Multiplication of this plant depends on the host pest. Here you can see the scheme of the development. So this insect, Encarsia, we're talking about Encarsia formosea. This is the insect who lays eggs into the third and the fourth stage of the whitefly, and in 10 days we see that they're getting black and die, and from these dead imagos, not the whitefly coming out from this larva, but instead the Encarsia comes out and continue its cycle, seeking or looking for the host pest, who laying eggs again to continue the own cycle of development. Very efficient agents but there is also specifics of using it. For example, Encarsia formosa is working in rather dark period of the day. I mean, it's very efficient during the winter time in the greenhouse. Encarsia formosa by Koppert has been delivered in sachets, which are very easy to distribute through your plantations. You just hang it on the plant, and from the eggs which are in there, this fly comes out, infecting or seeking for the eggs or larvae of the pest, and laying eggs in it. Another very serious group of the pests, especially for the berry, is actually moth. Different types of moth and butterflies. That can be the leaf rollers, this can be the aphids, this can be different type of moths. And the trichogram,
Тут в мене Evanescens написано.
here it says trichogram evanescens, but there are different types of trichograms.
Це схожа дія на
They act very similarly as Scarzia aromacerus,
Тут трихограма
but this trichograms laying eggs
яйця
into the eggs
того самого логового метелика або
of the butterflies or the moth,
відповідно ніхто
and then from this egg actually the moth is not coming anymore. So the cycle of the multiplication stops on the egg stage for the pests.
на слайді видно,
And on the slide you can see that
сама трихограма
that the trichogram itself
може контролювати розвиток
can control
60 видів.
development of more than 60 different pests.
Якщо ми все-таки
And when we are talking about
все-таки трихограма не впоралася,
if the trichogram did not work well enough, did not do the result, if the eggs were not damaged in time of the moths, then we have to use habrobracan. And habrobracan lay eggs into the head of the larva,
і далі
and then further this larvae inside of this larva, this parasitic agent living inside, killing the larva of the pest, and then they develop inside, come out and search for a new host and killing the larva. So having these two agents, you are fully equipped in protecting your plantation, and you can effectively control the population of the butterflies and moths. Speaking of the aphids, aphids is also a very serious pest on your plantation. We have a wide range of agents available for the aphid control. They can control different types of aphids. Most common is Afipar agents, and from a recent time, the company corporate have developed a special product which is called Afispar. Afispar includes 5 different species of the insects in it, 5 different agents. And in a greenhouse, there can be several populations of the aphids through this season. So that's why the biological agents the biological agents can also be species specific. They can kill only probably specific type of the aphids. That's why the corporate offered this kind of mix of different types or different species of the agents, and then they just hang like this in the greenhouse, or it can be put anywhere where it's convenient. From the holes in there, the agents fly out. They search for the aphid, and then you can see on the picture here what is left from the aphids on your plants. Then again, just to have it more visual, this is a fetus who's laying eggs inside of the aphid. It's laying eggs inside, and then inside of the pest there is a whole cycle of this agent happening, and then the young generation of Phineas come out and search again for the. Here again, we can see very aggressive agent against the aphids. These are quite hungry, these gulls. And they are helping to control quite efficiently the aphids on your plantation.
зупинитися трохи на грибних або гіркових комариках. Вони
I
у нас
want to stop a little bit about the Cerida.
їх,
Uh,
на них часто, мабуть,
It is a special type of the insect.
звертають увагу.
Why I want to stop here on it a little bit? Because
Їх або недооцінюють,
Cerridas are either underestimated or overestimated in agriculture. This is how looks the insect, and this is how looks its larva.
На чому я хотіла
What I would like to highlight about the Cerridas.
комарики
The
розвиваються
Cerridas
у перезволоженому ґрунті.
normally develop in over
Перезволожений
irrigated
ґрунт
soil when
сприяє
it's too wet.
розвитку
When it's too wet, they like mosquitoes, the Cerridas like these wet conditions, they develop a lot. And then people see the larvae and they are confused. They think this is nematodes, which is not. Look at this larva.
У неї є чорна голова,
It has black head, and you can see the stomach, the inside the stomach, which you cannot see in the nematodes, the guts inside. And then this larva, it's a saprophyte, so it's not eating the plant, it's eating the dead remainings of the plant. And the plant is developing. When the roots are developing, parts of the root die naturally. And these dead roots is actually being consumed by the Cerridas. And the more wet it is around, the quicker this root remains deteriorate, and it's a very good feeding for the Cerrids. And then the population of the Cerrids increases. But when the Cerrid is feeding, it gives a lot of secretion, it gives a lot of discharge in the soil. And when there's a large population of the Cerrids in the soil, this discharge is getting poisonous for the plant. So the plant gets poisoned by the discharges of these Cerridas, and it causes root rots. And then the secondary infection comes on the roots. And then we can see the root rots a lot on the plants. And I have seen many times when good specialists, good advisors saw the root rots, and they started to protect the plants against the root rots, and without any results. And the result of fighting root rots when the cause is really a Cerrids is that you only increase your wet soil. And you increase wetting the soil by applying in the soil these fungicides against root rots. And the more soil gets wet, the more population of the Cerrids growing in it and causing more rots by its discharge. That's why you have to pay attention to it. And this is one of the way of controlling it. You should use traps, sticky traps, to estimate the population of this Cerrids. It's not only showing the amount of population, but it also collects or kills parts of the adult animals, which stops their multiplication and stops laying more eggs in the soil. Copper offers also solutions for this. There are several solutions against the Cerrids. One of them is a special product of the predator mite, which is Macrochelis, very nice mite. We let it out on the soil below the plant. It's not damaging our plants at all. It's feeding purely on the remainings of the plants, and it's also eating the soil-borne stages of the thrips, also killing the serines in the soil. And also, if it finds on the way some parasitic nematodes or something else like that, it is also killing it. Normally, if we do the crop protection technology right, we use this Macroment, the commercial products of Macrohelys robustus, and applying it once a season is enough. Because if applied it correctly, it multiplies very well, and it remains its populations on your field, and it helps you to control actually the populations of the pests. I also want to stop on this special pest of Drosophila Suzuki, just to remind you again that our neighbors have a lot of problems with this Drosophila Suzuki. In Europe, it's getting very dangerous, especially for berries. With us in Ukraine, we have some developments to try to control this pest. I hope that in Ukraine, we don't have problem with it yet. The winters are yet too cold, but if or when it comes out to be harmful, I think we can help you. We can help you. We have some thoughts about it, but we don't have much practical experience because we don't have much of this pest. There is another group of the pests which is put in a special group. This is the soil-borne pests. And then we are talking of the larvae of May beetle, the larvae of the scaria, the larvae of the clear wing moth, the wireworms, all the soil-borne pests, which can do a lot of damage to blueberries, a lot of damage to black currants, for example, and to strawberry. I think you as a producers know all these soil-borne pests, and you know how much damage they can do to your plantation. So when we work with the company, when we are starting a plantation, fresh plantation with the berry crop, whether it is, well, normally this problem can appear only in the open ground, because if you have it in your greenhouse, then certainly something went wrong with your technology of agricultural production. In greenhouses, you should not face this kind of problem. In the open ground, if you do it from the scratch when you plant your plants, you first of all, before you do it, you have to check your soil for the population of this invest. You also have to check your soil for pathogenic nematodes, just to prevent the problems before you start. Once you found this problem on your field, we offer you some mechanisms to control it or to fight it. And how you can fight the soil-borne pests is, I think, the most efficient way is to use entomoparasitic nematodes. When you work with the nematodes, I cannot say that they're very species specific. They are predators and they can host, they can use any host. But for example, Stratodema caprasacea, for example, likes more beetles with the hard shells, with the hard wings. Stratodema fealty likes better with the serids, with the soft skin larvae. So different nematodes prefer sometimes different beetles to eat. But schematically, I will show you how it works. This is the larva of the sterid, and these are nematodes around it. Through the natural holes of the larva, they get inside it. The bacteria come along with the nematodes, and then with these bacteria, they paralyze the larva of the pest, and in another 24 hours, the body breaks open, and then from inside of the pest, a lot of new nematodes are coming out, seeking for another prey, for another victim. And this is how you clean your plantation from the soil-borne pests. The advantage of this agent is that if you use it correctly, if you apply it in the right way, then the efficiency of this agent can be for several years, depending on your crop rotation plan, of course. I have listed now probably only 5% of the portfolio corporate of the corporate portfolio of the agents. But even this 5% of the portfolio of the corporate company can give you a lot of protection. We understand it is difficult. We understand it is sometimes expensive for you. And out of my experience working with the farmers who grow vegetables, who grow ornamental plants, who grow berries, I made a kind of a short list table for strawberries specifically. It's for open and for the closed ground, protected ground.
Великий сегмент і в закритому ґрунті, і в відкритому ґрунті багато вирощують.
A lot of strawberry grown in the
Закритому ґрунті
tunnels or greenhouse, and a lot of grown on the open air. So for the closed ground, we use cerid, thrips, and parasitic nematodes. We use Macrohelys robustus or entomoparasitic nematodes. For controlling spider mites,
його по-різному називається, я його назвала розеточного кліща, і трипсів ми застосовуємо.
we use the product Neocellus with the predator mites. For aphids in the greenhouse, best is controlled by Aphis-Scout product. For the open ground, it's very similar list of the agents which can be used, but against the soil-borne, we use entomoparasitic nematodes mostly. The spider mite be normally controlled by the Neocellus, and the aphids by Aphis-Scout. So on my first or the second slide, I mentioned that we have each client, we have a personal approach. So for each client, we investigate the situation and we find the best solution individually. And this is just a general layout. Normally 3-5 different species of agents can be enough for you to control the situation in your farm and to prevent you from splashes, from the lesions of the pests. For blackberry, against the soil-borne insects or thrips, we use entomoparasitic nematodes. For the spider mite, we use again Neocellus, and against the aphids and the moths, we use trichograms and we use Haberbracon. It's not coincidentally when I put the picture, because this is the example of the damage of the blackberry mite. The blackberry mite can be also efficiently controlled by the biological agents. The only thing that you have to apply it in the right time and in the right way. For this, you need to know the biology of the blackberry mite. We have a good results fighting this pest. Speaking of the blueberry, blackcurrant, and haskap, we use entomoparasitic nematodes for the soil-borne insects. These entomoparasitic nematodes, they are really efficient tool, a really efficient agent to control the pests in the soil. And these nematodes, if they are living in the soil, they develop inside of the bodies of all pests, also against this Tropinota hirta, this winter stage of the larvae live in the soil, and then these nematodes can kill it. Different leaf rolls, fruit flies, all the insects which are staying over winter inside of the soil, they can be very efficiently controlled by these entomoparasitic nematodes. and the mosses and aphids
таку,
well controlled by trichograms and habrobracon.
Зупинившись на
Speaking of the
на частинки тільки
just a small portion of the biological agents available from the cohort,
я все-таки
I have to mention,
власної освіти, власного фаху,
because I have to say that my profession, my study was about the entomology, and I have to say the philosophy which stands behind our approach in servicing the clients,
формування технології,
about developing the technologies of the biological protection. I have to say that
до роботи з
for
нашими
the nature, there is no pests or good insects. There is no bad or good insects for the nature.
кліщів, нематод. Всі в природі рівні.
So everybody is equal for the nature. But we,
Комахами
as
і
people,
об'єктами
some of them call
робимо
useful
їх.
or agents for us,
Я вам розказала,
and
що
some of them we call
комахи,
pests
які
or bad ones.
мисляться.
And speaking of the good ones, of the agents, we have to talk about entomophags. Entomophags is the insects who eat insects. Acariphags are the mites
інших організмів.
who eat another organism. Helmintophags,
Це комахи, і кліщі,
these are
існують за
organisms
рахунок,
which are,
поліфаги,
Helmintophags is actually the gelmins who are eating the insects or other eating insects. Polyphags, they eat basically everything. But I have to mention there are also pollinators. Pollinators are the insects who are pollinating, ensuring the pollination for our plants.
Valerie, can you hear me? We have to wrap up, and still more 3 minutes, then we stop. Okay, maybe she can get to an end.
Ну так я все, я тільки цими жмелями
These are the last few slides. We only have to, we want to wrap up with the,
Very
we want
good.
to wrap up with the pollination. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Sorry. І також група запилювачів.
So the pollinator type of the good insects, copper is the leader in the bumblebee production. And even though that in Ukraine there are many different producers, many companies are presented who deliver the bumblebees, I still think that copper bumblebees are the best, because since we started to work with the copper bumblebees,
ми мали пропозиції вирощувати свої землі, але
we see a very good result. We are working for our farmers. We had the opportunity to see many different producers of the bumblebees, but we think that our farmers deserve the best. And they deserve not only the best, but also at the right time. Because if there is any problem with the supply chain, it can be very good bumblebees, but if they are not delivered in time, or they are not delivered in a good condition, the farmer can lose the whole harvest, can lose the whole yield, and can lose a lot of profit. So, copper producing 2 million hives, only in one factory they produce 2 million hives. They have the whole year-round cycle. Copper can supply you bumblebees year-round at any time, and we can deliver it to our farmers. So you can get the right product at the right time, and you can get good pollination when you need it. So on bumblebees, I can still talk for another hour, but I think I will stop here. Thank you for your attention. Again, I'm short of time. Sorry, but I have so much to share with.
Thank you very much, Elena. It was a fantastic story, and it's amazing how you can shake some insects out of a bottle, and then it starts immediately eating your pest. So it's a fantastic solution, and also very biological, which is very good, of course. Thank you so much, and We like to hear you once more about the nematodes, your real specialism, but that we will do in another time. I like also to thank Piet Beurskes from Rapo explaining about the new varieties. Yes, of course, we hope that the best variety of the ones will be developed for every situation, but still it's very important to do experiments, as you said, and we are looking very much forward to have these experiments also on our demo field so everybody can see it and experience it. Anton, thank you very much for giving the overview of the market and how it is developing, and also for the opportunities what is coming up. Thank you all. Strawberries is still a very interesting crop, and it's only increasing in popularity among the consumers in fresh and in frozen form. So it has bright perspectives for the future. For the next last webinar of this year, we were asked by some growers to talk about, since we are Dutch, about cannabis, because the Netherlands is quite famous about cannabis growing, and we're still experimenting with it, but also for the medical application. So please follow our social media for the announcements. It will be, I think, on the 17th of December, but it can vary a little bit, so please stay to follow us. I'd like to thank all the listeners, because the most of you stay till the end of the presentations. So it is very interesting, and you can always contact the speakers directly. And please do, because there are a lot of new things which will appear. I hope to see you back in 2 weeks' time about cannabis production. And thank you for watching us, and thank you all the companies supporting Stiyka Ukraina. Bye, paka.